Have you ever had that dream? That stomach-lurching, heart-stopping feeling of falling and falling with no end in sight. It's one of the most common dreams people report, and it can leave you waking up in a cold sweat, tangled in your sheets, your heart pounding against your ribs. You might jolt awake just before you hit the ground, a phenomenon known as a hypnic jerk. But what does it all mean? Why does our brain put us through this terrifying free fall in our sleep? For a long time, the most popular theory was a holdover from our evolutionary past. The idea was that our primate ancestors slept in trees, and this falling dream was a built-in alarm system, a biological reflex to wake them up if they started to slip or lose their balance, preventing a potentially fatal drop. It sounds plausible, right? A kind of ancient survival instinct still rattling around in our modern brains. But as fascinating as that sounds, most modern sleep researchers and psychologists think it's a bit of an oversimplification, while hypnic jerks are real physical responses. The dream itself, the narrative of the falls, likely rooted in something much more personal and psychological. So let's dive into what's really going on in our minds. The most widely accepted psychological interpretation is that dreaming of falling is a powerful symbol for a loss of control in your waking life. Think about it. When you're falling, you have zero control. You're at the mercy of gravity. This often mirrors feelings of helplessness or being overwhelmed by a situation. Are you struggling at work, feeling like you can't keep up with the demands? Maybe you're in a relationship that feels unstable, or you're facing a big financial worry. Your subconscious mind takes these feelings of insecurity and translates them into the raw, physical sensation of an endless fall. The context of the fall in your dream is a huge clue. Where are you falling from? If you dream of slipping off a cliff, it might symbolize a risk you're retaking or a fear of making a wrong step that could lead to a major setback. Tumbling down a flight of stairs could represent a fear of failure in a step-by-step process, like a project at work or a personal goal. If you're simply falling through an empty black void, it can represent the fear of the unknown, a sense of being lost without any direction or support system. It's like your mind is saying, "I don't know where I'm going, and I'm terrified." Another common interpretation connects falling dreams to failure. In our language, we use phrases like falling short of expectations, a fall from grace, or falling behind. These aren't just coincidences. Our brains are amazing at making connections, and in the dream world, these linguistic metaphors can become literal. So, if you're feeling inadequate, anxious about not meeting your own standards or the standards of others, your brain might just decide to show you what that fall feels like. It's a very direct, if unsettling, way of processing those anxieties. You might be worried about letting someone down or failing at a crucial task. Let's also consider the perspective of relationship dynamics. Falling dreams can sometimes be about your connections with other people. Feeling let down or abandoned by someone you trust can manifest as a dream where the ground disappears from beneath your feet. It's a symbol of your support system crumbling. Think about whether you've recently had a conflict with a friend, a family member, or a partner. That feeling of lost trust and insecurity in the relationship can easily trigger a dream where you re-plummeting without a safety net. But here's something you might not expect. Falling dreams aren't always negative. I know it sounds strange, but hear me out. For some people, the dream of falling can be linked to a sense of freedom and letting go. Imagine you've been holding onto a lot of stress, control, and responsibility. The dream of falling could be your subconscious mind's way of telling you to release that grip. It can be a symbol of surrendering to a situation you can't control, and in that surrender, finding a strange kind of peace. It's about letting go of inhibitions and embracing a new phase of life without fear. The key difference here is the feeling during the dream. If you feel terrified, it's likely anxiety. But if there's a sense of calm or even exhilaration, it might be your mind encouraging you to take a leap of faith. From a purely physiological standpoint, what's happening to your body when you have this dream? As you drift into the first stage of sleep, your muscles start to relax. Sometimes your brain misinterprets this sudden relaxation as you actually falling. In response, it sends a signal to your muscles to tense up, which causes that sudden twitch or jolt, the hypnic jerk, that wakes you up. This often happens when you're overly tired or stressed, as your body transitions into sleep more abruptly. The dream of falling is the story your brain creates to explain that physical sensation. So, you feel the jolt, and your half-asleep brain instantly provides a reason. Oh, I must have been falling. So, what can you do if these dreams are bothering you? The first step is to look at your waking life. These dreams are often a red flag from your subconscious, signaling that something is out of balance. Start by asking yourself, what am I feeling overwhelmed by? Where in my life do I feel a lack of control? Am I worried about failing at something? Grab a journal and write down your thoughts. Just the act of identifying the source of your anxiety can be incredibly powerful. Acknowledging the problem is the first step towards solving it. Next, focus on stress management techniques before you go to bed. Your pre-sleep routine has a huge impact on the quality of your dreams. Avoid stressful activities like checking work emails or scrolling through anxiety-inducing news right before you turn out the lights. Instead, try some gentle stretching, meditation, or deep breathing exercises. Reading a light-hearted book or listening to calming music can also help. The goal is to signal to your body and mind that it's time to relax and let go of the day's worries, which can reduce the likelihood of your brain triggering that falling alarm. And if these dreams persist and cause you significant distress, it's always a good idea to talk to someone. A therapist or counselor can help you unpack the underlying anxieties that might be causing these dreams. Sometimes just having a safe space to talk about your fears can make a world of difference. Remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health, and there's no shame in seeking support. Ultimately, the dream of falling is a fascinating glimpse into the human psyche. It's a universal experience that connects us all, a shared nightmare born from our deepest fears of failure, insecurity, and loss of control. But it's also a message. It's your mind's way of communicating with you, urging you to pay attention to your emotional state. So the next time you find yourself plummeting through the dream world, instead of just being terrified, try to get curious. Ask yourself what your mind is trying to tell you. It might just be the wake-up call you need. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of dreams. If you found this interesting, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the mysteries of the mind. Sweet dreams, and hopefully, no falling.